Okay, hi. Today we're going to set up a meet in Meet Manager so you can score at the poolside. First thing we want to do here is we're going to go to File, Open New, and we name it. So let's just say it is Gold Key versus Birchwood Lakes. Okay, so we've named our meet. We hit Open. And then the boxes will pop up to set up the meet. So you have to do your demo meet. You have to make a meet name. So again, we go Gold Key versus Birchwood Lakes. Facility name. Well, neither one has a pool, so we'll say none. Okay. I don't need an address. I don't need a city. I do need a city, so we'll go Dingman's again. I need a state, so Pennsylvania will be good enough. Postal code 18326. Country is USA. Alright, this is host long short course. We just do unknown. Let me just double check to see if I should scroll. ZZ unknown. Alright, let's say they are swimming in July 20th. Okay, the age up is still going to be July 4th. The end date is July 20th also. Okay, the entry date is already set for you, just leave that alone. Format is fine, our age group, class is age group. Altitude we don't need to do. Custom codes is fine. All this other stuff here. Most pools, unless you're in Sunrise, is short course meters. Wild Acres and Trails End also has a special non-conforming code, which should be in the rule books, or if not, email me. Okay, so I'll click short course meters, and I hit OK. All right, and then the next thing we want to do is we want to go to Setup here. And we want to go to scoring setup. So scoring setup is a standard. They already have them here. We're going to go in and change these because ours are different. So we do 4, 2, 1, and then we don't score anything else after that. So you just put zeros the whole way. Okay. So we zero everything out on the individuals. Remember, if it's a tri-meet, there's a different scoring, and again, that is in the instruction booklet that I had sent out earlier in the year. Not sure? Again, email me and we can get that to you. Okay, relay points is 6, 3, 1. Alright, and then we zero all those out again. And that's our scoring setup for points. And then we're going to go and do a couple of things you got to get set up here before you even bring the entries in. Okay. Alright, and then we hit OK. Alright, and we go back to setup, and we can do a seating preference. Alright, so we have here, this is all pretty much, you can leave this all the same. These will not work as far as let me see if I go dual meet. See, there are no teams here yet to put anything in. Alright, that we don't need, that's already set for us. But until you bring in your entries, I think the best thing to do is not to put in anything here yet. Okay, and then we go back to setup. So everything's pretty much being done in setup. Okay, entry scoring preference. Alright, so this is something you want to look at, because here we have where it says individual, maximum scores per team per event. So we don't allow sweeps, which means the maximum amount is 2, and here in relays it's 2. Okay, so that will allow the computer just to score the meet normally. I know there are a few questions about that, so hopefully that will help. And then the other stuff we don't really have to worry about too much here. This is where you would put your non-conforming factor in if you were swimming in Trails End or Wild Acres. Okay, so again, we can't click on anything here because we haven't put the teams in yet. Okay, and that's all set. We hit OK. And now your basic meet is set up. Alright, until you get your entries from the other teams, you really can't do anything at this point. What I would suggest you do when you're setting this up is, if you come here and say File, Save As, you can now, I already have Gold Key Birchwood Lakes in here, but if I'm Gold Key, all I do is delete Birchwood and change it for Trails End. Okay? Hold on. I change it for Trails End. I type that in, I hit open, and all that other stuff is saved. Okay, so what we also have to do here, if it's the first time you're setting up the computer or you've reloaded Meet Manager, you'd have to set up your events. Okay, and then you see here it says Event 1. You would pick your gender, whether it be boy, girl, and how many lanes, and you do your age groups here. You can see you got your event, whether it's an individual. So the first thing is an individual, it's a medley, right? And then you come down here, you hit boy, girl. It also click that button and it'll move it along a little easier for you. Then you pick the age group here, okay, the distance here, and all of the information down here. What happens is after you've done this, if you do the save as I talked about, all you have to do is delete the teams and all your other information will stay the same. So you don't have to go all the way through. I'll show you one that I have here. Is I can come here and go File. I'll open up one that we had before. Let's go with 2012. Alright, this is one I'm using to send out the psych sheets each week. So if I click here, I have my teams, right? So I have my Birchwood Lakes, I have everyone in here, I'm just missing a couple of teams. What I can do is, I can hit delete, and I can delete all these teams, and then save this as another meet. Okay, are you sure? I say yes. Once I get all the teams out of here, everything that I've done as my major setup is already done. So you set it up once, and then you do a save as, and you save as your other 4 meets. Okay, and then you start to import. Now everything's set for each week. Then when your teams come, hopefully, as I've spoke about before, you should be doing this Friday night. So Friday night, Birchwood emails Gold Key emails Birchwood. They go here, they hit entries, they come down and they get here's the Birchwood entry. They click on them and they come into a box will come up and tell you here's the file name. We hit OK. We check here. What normally you're going to click here is include entry, not to include entries with no time. So you make sure the only button here is match events. Okay, you hit OK, and then you'll see there were some exceptions during the report. Okay, and this was kind of short where no times included. Okay, or no, Birchwood, excuse me. And these were some of the no times included. In a normal meet, you won't have these. This was because we were doing a weekly psych sheet. Right? You click on this, you come back to teams, and you'll notice Birchwood's back in there, okay, with their entries. All right, now I can go to this part where I go setup and I say seating preference. Now when I say dual meets, the teams are here because I've imported them. So if I'm Birchwood, say swimming against, I put Birchwood in, I drag them over, and I put Birchwood in 1, 3, and 5. Okay, and then Hemlock is going to be 2, 4, and 6 because Hemlock is swimming at Birchwood, and therefore home team has odd, away team has evens. And then I come down here and I say use the lane assignments above. Okay, that's how I want it set up. Alright, I don't want it alternating, I don't want it doing anything else. Alright, and I could say strict assignments all heats. Okay, this way they don't change anything. You hit OK, and everything should be set to run from there. And then you would come to seating, right? You would hit select all, start seating, okay? And I'm going to do another video on this for 2 teams if you would do it that way, okay? But this should get you to set up at least your meet and have everything ready for Saturday. You should be able to have, like I said, set up 1 meet and then do it 4 more times and date them all and have them ready. And then really what you're waiting for, you put your entries in. Now teams are doing their entries not in Meet Manager but in Team Manager. So your scorers should be working with Meet Manager, your coaches should be working with Team Manager. Okay, and I think that's all I'm going to do for today's video. Alright, and hopefully this will help you get moving on your Meet Manager at the pools. Okay.